Worst part is he's only driving with one hand while vaping with the other. I'm gripping the seat for dear life.
All right, now this looks like Austin. This looks like Austin. The vape, the cap, the bicycle. This is Austin in a nutshell.
Is there anything more disgusting than the pores? Ugh! If you can't afford deodorant, then you shouldn't be allowed outside. If you want to live in society, then act like it! But roasting them from my air-conditioned apartment felt unearned. So I decided to travel from Miami to Austin in the cheapest way possible in order to see how poor people eat, sleep, and breathe.
Austin?
First, I need to get to the airport.
Austin is poor
so I open up Uber, and oh look, a cheaper shared option. Can't wait to meet my first deplorable. And fellas, it did not disappoint. As soon as I opened the door, there was a girl with "please don't look at me" vibes. I'm telling you, the body language on this chick, someone hurt her. And it wasn't just her credit score that took a hit. But I wasn't going to add to a mixtape, so I left her alone. That wasn't until we arrived at the airport. I go to help take her luggage out of the trunk when I know she has a designer suitcase. I said, damn girl, your bag says YSL, yet you're stuck in rideshare hell.
Oh, she don't got money.
One dirty look later, and I head into the airport.
She
and the cheapest flight I could get was on Southwest. For those who haven't flown Southwest before, they do things a little differently. Instead of picking your seat prior to boarding, you pick it when you board. And if that seems like a bad idea, that's because it is! I like to think of a civilized person, but if there's an empty seat next to me, then I'm going full Pop-Tart. Just trying to bite my lower neck like... See, on Spirit Airlines, you're a monster coming in, but Southwest makes you a monster. It starts before you even get on the plane. In the terminal, there are poles with numbers on them associated with your ticket that you're supposed to stand by, but ain't no one checking. So if they're calling Group B, then you're B1. If a passenger asks to see your phone, then start grunting. And if anyone tries to cut you, flare those elbows. Take up as much room as you can. The more unhinged you seem, the less likely someone will confront you. Then as your...
All right, so I've actually never flown Southwest, but my friend swears by Southwest. He says he'd rather do that than fly any other airline. I do not get it. I'm not even gonna tell y'all the airline I fly because, you know, no free promotions on my channel. You're gonna have to pay me if you want to hear. But Spirit, man, I feel like they just catapult you to your destination. Like they just use what do they call it? A trebuchet, and they just cross their fingers and hope you arrive safely.
Board in the plane, start looking for the hottest woman you can find. Because either one, she'll be into you, which is great, or two, she'll be disgusted by you, which is also great. You're either getting a future blowy or a free armrest. It's a win-win either way. Now, if there's no hotties, then just find a seat with an empty one next to it.
That is not gonna happen.
Options. You can either go the civilized liar route and place your luggage on the seat saying, "My wife's coming," or go full-on animal. I'm talking noises, drool, and erratic movements. You want people to look at you and say no.
And not want to sit by you.
No.
I get it.
On this flight, I leaned heavy into disgust. Anytime someone used an overhead near me, I just pick my nose while making direct eye contact. They try to challenge me and I'm ranking it right on the seat. Don't test me, Carol. I want my elbow room.
I'm not
Luckily,
sitting
my
next
strap
to you.
works and I'm blessed with horizontal freedom. Now, what was the plane like? Trash! Total trash! No USB, no monitor, and like I mentioned earlier, no human decency. Person in front of me kept coughing, not even trying to cover their mouth. You're trying to get a seat, I get it, but the doors are closed. So how about you put on a mask before I donkey punch you? Can't cough if you're unconscious, Debbie. Flight attendants weren't helping either. All they did was walk the aisle and spray some disinfectant. Like at least spray the face, pad. But instead the crew decided to ignore the biohazard and move on to the safety briefing. You know, where they asked the dumbest question possible. Are you able to help out during an emergency? What kind of emergency?
I don't want
Main
to.
door won't open and I gotta activate
I want to help myself out.
Sure. We crash land in the middle of the Atlantic? Then no. You know what's better than helping out your fellow man? Not dying. Only first class seats are now on that life raft, and I'm not waiting in line. Anyway, we begin to get towed onto the runway when I could hear someone getting real nervous. So I said, wait, what was that noise? Panic is the ultimate in-flight entertainment. Then after a bit, we reach cruising altitude and they begin to hand out drinks. Now, most airlines bring a beverage cart down the aisle, but instead Southwest would take your order, then come back with your drink, which wouldn't have bothered me if they weren't holding my cup by the rim. Oh, you want some orange juice? Well,
I don't know how I feel about that.
My germs. Fast forward a few hours later and we land in Austin. I hopped in another shared Uber, except this one had a guy in it who was trying his hardest to spit game at me. Now, I'm a flirt, but I'm not a tease. So I say, hey man, I feel like you're trying to shoot your shot right now, but just want to let you know that I'm straight. And he replied with the classic, well, have you ever tried it? I said, bro, I can't stick a hot dog more than 2 inches in my mouth without gagging. I eat a lot of protein, so my back door is real stinky, and my biggest turnoff is the smell of poop. So no, I haven't tried it. Anyway, 10 awkward minutes later, and we arrived at my hotel, the La Quinta Inn. Immediately, I noticed a fire truck outside, which is always a great sign when you're looking to sleep. Now, before I tell you how trashy the hotel was, do you want to guess how much it was a night? $53. $53.
All right, you don't even gotta tell me how trashy it was. $53? $53 for a hotel room? Yeah, I already know it was trashy.
At night! I didn't know there was anything under 100, so I knew it was going to be bad.
$53,
But like a
garbage.
interview, it just kept getting worse. So I went inside and was greeted by a lady with neck tattoos. She tells me, "You're lucky. They were about to shut the place down." I said, "What do you mean shut down?" She said there was a small fire a few hours earlier in someone's room, but it's all right now. Anyway, here are
It's
your
all
keys.
right
The check-out's
now.
at 11.
Ah!
So I
Am
head
I
up to
gonna
my room,
burn?
but there's caution tape outside of it. I'm thinking,
Am I
did
gonna
this bitch
die
give me
if I
ground
stay
zero?
here?
So I go back downstairs and Miss Damage says not to worry about it. I said, "This feels like something I should definitely be worried about." She says, "All right, well, if you want, we have a handicap room still available." I
Yeah,
said,
give
"All
me
right,
that
I'll
one."
take that one." So I go to the Pop-Tart
They have a
room,
bigger
and the
bathroom,
first thing I
right?
noticed were toenail clippings in the corner.
Oh!
They weren't clean cuts either. Bro was
Oh!
chewing. And that pretty much set the tone. Everywhere you looked was another OSHA violation. Bathroom light was melting, paper cups had
That's
mold
not
on
worth
them,
it.
and there was
That's
a small
not worth it,
Filipino
bro.
girl under the bed saying, "You didn't see me." It was a disaster.
I don't care if it's
La
for a
Quinta is the
YouTube
Mexican
video.
Trump's trying to deport, then fill the bucket with ice. Anyway, the reason I went to Austin was to see comedian Mark Normand. He was performing at the Paramount Theater, which was a short 10-minute walk away. I thought it'd be a great chance to take in the sights, but it turns out the sights were mostly tents, needles, and grown men arguing with pigeons.
All right, man. I used to go to college next to Austin. It's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. He's making it sound like LA, New York. There is homeless. There are drug users there. I'm not going to say that there's not that kind of stuff down there, but I swear it's not this bad. Like, golly.
I spent most of the time playing the game homeless or dead. But once I got past the human suffering, I arrived at the historic Paramount Theater. Now, I don't know when this theater was built, but it was definitely before black people had rights. Every once in a while, I could hear the faint whisper of, and just like segregation, I felt like a second-class citizen as my seat was all the way at the top. So I headed up to the balcony and immediately got nervous because the angle of the seats was so steep. There weren't any guardrails either, so if you fell, it'd just be human water slide to the bottom. Worst part is you'd probably survive. I mean, fully disabled, but alive thanks to Gary and his girlfriend who definitely didn't want to be there. So I got to my seat, which was tighter than a Nation preteen, except the only one getting violated definitely didn't want to be there. So I got to my seat, which was tighter than a Nation preteen,
Tighter than an Asian
violated were my hips. You're not shoulder to shoulder with the people around you, you're interlocking, which honestly added to the whole communal comedy vibe. Made it feel like we're all connected, because we literally were. Anyway, the show was great, but exiting the theater was a nightmare. Huge traffic jam getting out, and we are one fire away from Trample City. All it takes is one person crawling over another for the real trauma to begin. But luckily, I made it out and walked back to my dirty La Quinta. Upon arriving, I noticed 3 police cars outside, and I'm just praying it's something small, like a suicide. There could be a full-on drug bust where they're bashing indoors. Gonna be hard to sleep through. FBI, open up! But sleep was out of the equation because the fire alarm had a low battery that would randomly... I know it's illegal to take the battery out, but it's all because the fire alarm had a low battery that would randomly... I know it's illegal.
Hey man, why is that like the universal stereotype for like black people house? Like, I have a house. I am black, but my smoke alarm does not beep like that. I changed my battery. I'm on it.
Illegal to take the battery out, but it's also illegal to torture people. So I went to remove it, then paused thinking, wait, what if this triggers it for the entire building? The fire department was already there once. Maybe this is true. That is true. Screw it. Fast forward to the morning and I wake up feeling terrible. I don't know if it was the beeping or jet lag or a girl under my bed crying, but I did not sleep well. However, I needed to get the hell out of this dumpster. So I packed myself up and headed downstairs where the dude at the front desk asks if I enjoyed my stay. My response was, beep. Then I headed outside and was about to order another Uber when I noticed someone driving a rickshaw. I thought slave labor was illegal, but apparently not in Austin, so I flagged him down and asked if he could drive me to the airport. He says sure, and I hopped in his shopping cart. Now, I am not exaggerating
on a bicycle,
when I say this is the most dangerous thing I have ever done. The top speed is only 15 miles an hour, yet he decides to go on the f***ing highway.
Are you
kidding me? His shoulder like it's some sort of Mario Kart shortcut, and there's no seatbelt, so every time we hit a bump, I'm just launched closer to Jesus. Worst part is he's only driving with one hand while vaping with the other. I'm gripping the seat for dear life.
All right, now this looks like Austin. This looks like Austin. The vape, the cap, the bicycle. This is Austin in a nutshell. This is accurate.
This guy's hotboxing the highway. But luckily, we made it off the freeway, and I could see the airport in the distance.
This is accurate, guys.
They really allowed rickshaws in the airport. He says, wait, they don't allow these? I said, I don't know. You're the one pedaling. Then he pulls over, and now I got to negotiate. I have at least a 25-minute walk with luggage. So I say to him, well, I've seen golf carts there before, so I'm sure it's fine. Spoiler alert, totally not fine. Because as soon as we pulled up in front of the gate, security stops him with the most, bro, what are you doing with this? So I grab my luggage and dip, saying, good luck, buddy. Now with all the side quests complete, I only had one mission left. The
What's
final
the mission?
boss of budget travel, Spirit Airlines. I thought
What
the
did I
battle would
say?
be in the air, but
Spirit Airlines,
hit me with a
man.
pre-flight cutscene. A
Oh,
gate area
God.
filled with glitchy characters, control-smashing toddlers, and a level 1 mage casting vape clouds. But I beat too many welfare dungeons to let some scrubs end my run, so I
I've
quit
rode
my
on
neck
Spirit
pillow,
before.
loaded into the cabin, and prepared for
survived.
turbulence. Is that bitch
Thankfully.
painting her nails? Is that guy eating a turkey leg? Is that another bitch painting her nails? Who are you trying to impress? Your probation officer? Sorry to tell you, bitch, but nail polish won't hide the smell of generational failure. But my favorite passenger was a
Damn,
guy
this
who
man,
had what
bro.
doctors call still brain. He was playing one of those seizure games like Candy Crush, and you might think that'd be enough stimulus, but not for this guy. No, while still playing the game, he opens up his laptop and starts
Oh my
watching the
gosh.
most mind-numbing, sensory overloading, brain rot known to
That's like those videos you see on TikTok where it's a Subway Surfer and then it's another video. So like essentially Subway Surfer is to just keep your attention, and then you're like listening to some sort of audio or whatever. Or it's like a Family Guy trying to laugh mixed with Subway Surfer gameplay. I don't get it, man. Like it's just
the man fast.
What are we doing now?
Oh, I just wanted to shake him saying, unplug, unplug. But
Please
before I could finish
unplug.
my exorcism, we touched down in Miami, which meant I had officially survived the poverty gauntlet. Now, when I started this video, I had one goal in mind: farm the suffering of others for content. But somewhere between moldy cups and racist ghosts, I felt something I wasn't
the
expecting.
hotel was not worth it.
Respect. Respect for the Uber girl who didn't let fear trap her at home. Respect for the rickshaw driver who risked a felony for a $20 fare. Respect for Gabriella for holding in a sneeze when I was trying to sleep.
Shout
Because
out
getting through
Gabriella.
That kind of chaos day after day isn't pathetic, it's impressive. I mean, these people are literally surviving conditions that would break most of us. Imagine being a rainy day away from, well, guess I'm not eating today. Who needs calories when you're the engine? See, poverty doesn't just drain your wallet, it drains your time, your dignity, and your ability
It does,
to
it
rest.
does,
There's no
it
days
does.
off when struggle is your full-time job.
And
So
like
next
you're
time
depressed
you see
and
someone
everything,
barely
bro.
holding it together, just remember, there's still a person. Unless they smell. Then they're an animal that needs
I
to
knew
be
he was
put
gonna do
down.
something messed up. Oh my god.
One nose pick can get a lot of elbow room. Small sacrifice for a big reward.
All right, guys, but we need to pay attention to what he said at the end, not the very end, but we got to respect people who aren't like, earning a lot, because not everybody who is less fortunate than you is not deserving of it, of being fortunate, if that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is not everybody who makes less money than you is like a bum, is somebody who is lazy, is somebody who is unproductive. Sometimes people really do just get hit with hard times. So try to be respectful of everybody in those situations, because you never truly know what somebody's going through,